This is Cross the Line Radio.
Atlanta, GA, 404-985. You're on live Cross the Line Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Tish.
How you doing,
What's
Tish?
up,
You got a
Tish?
question for us or young Pharoah? What's up?
Oh, well, you had it right. I'm from Atlanta. I go by the handle Facing East on YouTube. But I have a perspective that I wanted to lay out there, if that's okay.
Okay, is this directed, just so I can be clear, is this directed for young Pharoah, directed for us, or just to all three of us?
Well, I guess it can be directed to young Pharoah. Peace to you, King. How you doing?
Peace, Queen. I'm all right. How you doing tonight? Hey, girl.
That's the first time Queen was ever said on Cross the Line. Hold on one second. That's the first time Queen was ever said on Cross the Line Radio. That's an epic moment, Pharoah.
Right. Put it in the book. Put it in the book.
No, but go ahead, sis. You got
crazy.
Go
But
ahead,
I
sis.
wanted to make this maybe 3 parts, okay?
Oh, my wife mad at me now. I love you, baby.
And because I know we have the Queen, Ashe Divine, hopefully we'll be able to hear from her. But I just really want to stop a snowball, if I can, snowball effect, and just bring in an objective perspective to what's been going on, because I know you all were going to lead into this. I was hoping that you would catch her call before mine, but I did want to speak about Nature Boy and that whole thing.
Okay.
Because people are saying that he's a pedophile. So I'll start with this question, and then I do want to bring that perspective. What is it that we're using to say that he's a pedophile?
Woo! Thank you for asking that. See, I'm glad you asked, because listen, I've been over here with my finger on the trigger the whole time. Asking that question was the equivalent of them saying fire at will. That was exactly what you. So let me play audio. See, I have audio.
Hey, hold on, before Pharoah, before you go, Pharoah, before you go off, the chat room is waiting for the body bag. We also gonna have another first. Young Pharoah's gonna break ground and give the first body bag that wasn't by Captain Tazaryach or Captain Tazaryach. Young Pharoah, you got the floor.
That's right. It was ordained by them. So you know this body bag don't have all kind of special shit in it. All right? Now I want everybody to, before I do this, because this is for the Queen specifically who asked the question, I would just like to let you know, as you know something about me, I don't make things up. I like to let people speak, and then I reiterate or rebut on what they said. I'm finna play you an audio clip of Nature Boy saying, okay, he said out his mouth that children get molested, but it's for a good reason. And he's saying that molestation, it can have some kind of spiritual ascensional purpose. Now I'm going to play the audio. It's going to be about 5 to 10 seconds. So listen, I'm going to play it. Then I'm going to rewind it one more time. Then I'm going to play it again. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Thing. Listen to this. Let me make y'all can hear that, right?
Yeah, we can hear you coming through fine.
Okay, I pause. All right, here we go.
Sick, weird ass, bitch ass nigga. Listen to this nigga. Here we go.
Here we go. Listen.
You have physical sex with them. You are exchanging and activating genetics. Listen. A lot of people were molested as children, but for a good reason.
Okay. All right. Now let me run that shit back. Let me run that shit back. I'm not, listen, I got so many receipts on this nigga. I don't understand how this nigga is not out yet.
Body bag.
Let me run that back one more time.
What? A lot of people you are exchanging and here we go. You have physical sex with them. You are exchanging and activating genetics. Listen. A lot of people were molested as children, but for a good reason.
All right. So now does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you, young Pharoah.
Thank you for calling in, sweetie.
Before we do the sound effects now.
Right.
I remember I said I have an objective.
You have an objective, right?
he didn't say that he molested children in that clip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. I know that Nature Boy has a warped, and I don't even want to say warped. He has a different perspective on a lot of things.
Oh, bless your Christian heart.
There was another clip where he said that he allowed his child to play with his penis. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just objectively, he recanted that statement and said, that's not what I meant by that.
Now pause. Let me say this to you because I don't want to cut you off.
Hold on, Pharoah. Let me jump in on the body bag, right? You know, pedophilia is not just penetration, sis. That's what you got to understand. Pedophilia is not just molesting a child where you penetrating them, whether they be male or female. Having that boy touch his penis, that's also pedophilia. And you can't, he can't get around the retraction because the brother in our school saved his son from that lifestyle with his woman that helped her get that boy from him. So he can tell you that he retracted it, but he did not retract it. I seen him on Sanetta's channel try to clean it up, say he didn't mean to say this or didn't mean to say that, but that's exactly what he meant. To have your son say to you, yours is bigger than mine, means that he has his child around him where he can see his penis. So you have to understand what pedophilia is. A lot of people think pedophilia is just molesting physically, but there's a mental, there's a psychological, there's so much that's involved with that. Because now what do you think that boy is going to think about when he's around other boys? That it's okay to touch their penis too. It's okay to be naked around them too. So he is a pedophile.
And hold on, Pharoah, before I pass it to you, Tish, do you have children?
No, I don't have children.
I didn't think so. You understand?
I don't have any children. And to be honest, you know, and I'm going to say something personal here. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to go ahead and go there because I've seen my mother naked. And my mother and I would take baths together. I was 5 years of age. So are we talking about, is it not okay to even be naked around our children? And their
hold on, let me jump in. Let me jump in now. Because I gotta make sense of all this. Okay. Y'all let me make sense of all this. Women deal with each other to a certain extent in that manner. If you go in a women's locker room, women take their bra off. Women do things with their body that men don't do. Period. I'm hesitant to take my shirt off in front of another nigga. That's just a fact. And I want to speak on this. Mm-hmm. If you say I let my son play with my penis, that's not no accident shit.
Right.
You don't say that on accident. So if you say that he recanted that statement, that don't mean he recanted that action. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas write statements to the police. Like you could kill a motherfucker and say, yeah, I shot him. It was self-defense. And then at trial, you can say, I recant that statement. That didn't mean you didn't shoot this man. And so
and if I could just chime in too as well, here's where we'll differ on a few things. Number one, he didn't just say that his son seen his penis. He said his son played with his penis. He said his son saw him having sex. And his sister said when she saw her mother naked, that was wrong. Like when Pharoah, here's where we'll differ. When you go into a locker room and it's okay for the women to have their titties and their breasts and all that stuff out, that's a culture to breed lesbianism. Right. Just no different than if it's a culture to breed homosexuality. That's why you'll have a lot of sisters that become lesbians because they think it's okay to see like the influence that we give sexually to our children, to our young girls, our young boys. We got to be very careful of what's accepted. I'm not saying that you all the way with it. I'm not saying that you all the way with that Pharoah. But what I'm saying is we grew up thinking that it's okay for women to be around each other that way, but men can't.
Listen, you right, but this is the point where I was gonna go with it.
Okay.
Me personally, this is me personally, because I actually got a daughter coming. Mm-hmm. When my daughter get to a certain age, it's just things I'm not doing with my daughter. You know, the mama got to do that. So that's just that's where I was. I don't want nobody to think I'm saying nothing crazy, but where I was finna go is, I would rather the mother be more intimate with the body of the daughter than a male. And then and the reason I was making that point is to try to give some credence to the fact that men, you know, we don't really belong around no child, male or female, naked, let alone another male. So if we don't want to be around our own, you know, daughters naked, why would you want to be around your son naked to the point where you let your son grab your phallus? Right. So you know, it's no way I can rationally say, you know what, nigga, that was a mistake. Like, people do shit like drop their kid on accident. That's a mistake. You don't accidentally let your son. And then he said, I let it happen. I got the clip right here. I will play this shit. I got it. It's right here, ready to go.
Before you do, this leads me into my next question before I was interrupted by Tish. Tish, yes, sir. Would you, if you had a child, I know you don't have a child, so it might be hard for you to envision, because once you actually have a child, you understand, you could say you do this, that, and the third, but once you see that baby born, you instinctively get a parental instinct to want to protect that child and make sure that they grow up properly. If you had a son, would you want any male, you understand, father or not, to play with your son's penis?
Whoa. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that.
So
Nature Boy said he was playing with his son's penis. No.
Pharaoh, get the receipt, please.
Nature Boy, no. Nature Boy said that he let his son play with his penis.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's the question.
So let's reverse it.
So can your son play with another man's penis?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
so
not.
Why would that even be something in question here as to regards?
What are you trying to justify?
Right. That's that. Thank you. He got straight to the point. What are you trying to justify?
Well, this is what I'm trying to justify.
Right.
It's just looking at things objectively, but don't get me wrong. I'm not an advocate for pedophilia. So let's just get that.
But what are you trying to justify is the question.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Okay, so you know, sis.
Hold on, let me answer. Let me answer, brother.
Go ahead. I'll give you a second.
Pharaoh, remember, you called her queen.
Give me the floor the way I let the three of you have the floor, so you can understand where I'm coming from. The thing is this: if you're saying that, you know, having sex in front of a child is sex abuse, I get that, because you shouldn't be exposing. You're correct, Captain, that if you do certain sexual things, if you speak in sexual perverseness, or if you're having sex in front of a child, that's wrong. That's still sex abuse.
Right.
I'm just questioning another side. Was this a baby in a crib? Was this a toddler? That's all I'm saying.
So there's an age limit that you can play with the penis.
You want to put the shoe on the other foot and say, would I let my son, or would I let my
Hold on, y'all. Let me answer.
No, hold on.
Hold on. Let me cut this out. Let me answer. Let me dialogue with it. Let me dialogue with her, because it was kind of, you know, I want to dialogue with her because it was kind of directed towards me. So let me just, you know, agree with you for 1 second, right, Queen? Let me agree with you. If the baby was a toddler, if the baby was an infant, or if the baby was a teenager, would it make any difference? Or should it be something that we should take into consideration about a father letting his son play with his penis? So if I was to say, you know what, how old was the kid? If I'm going to consider the age, what would you say I should be taking into consideration that would make me have mercy upon this action? Is there anything?
This is the one thing that I'm envisioning. If the child is in the crib sleeping, and the mother and the father, the husband and the wife, they have a moment, I mean, do we need to crucify them for that? Because the child doesn't even
listen. I don't want to cut you off. But I gotta say this. Listen, what you're envisioning, right, is what you're envisioning. But we're not technically envisioning. We going off what he said. He didn't say the child was in the crib. And from what he said, and I've seen his son, and ISUPK have seen his son. So this was a toddler age child. And so by going off the facts, this child at the time was at least anywhere from maybe 4 to probably 6 years. I'll say 3 to 6 years old. And so going off of what Nature Boy said out of his mouth, not us trying to envision nothing. He said after he got done having sex with this woman at the time, he let his son play with his penis. And so whether if the child was in the crib, that means he went and got the child out the crib to let it happen, which makes it even worse. And so my thing is, I'm
not defending Nature Boy's actions at all. I mean, actually, when you put it that way, to say, hey, would you let your son play with your husband? Absolutely not. I mean, that would bring up all kinds of red flags. But, you know, when they're in front of a camera and they're saying certain things and it gets sensationalized, sometimes you want to get the full story and you want to know, what are we basing this on? And that's wisdom. So, you know, I think that my brothers here can understand that the Most High says a wise man considers well.
Hold on.
That comes first things right.
Yeah. Hold on, sis.
That. So I'm still a queen.
Sis. Here's no. I'm not letting none of this shit fly right now. Your dialogue is why Eddie Long got away with molestation. Your dialogue is why Bambaataa got away with molestation. Because somebody's trying to, what about this? What about that? Nah, fuck that. Let me tell you something. I object to a boy touching a man's penis. You understand? Like you talking about, no. You're out your mind. I'm gonna have to mute you right now with your, you understand, emotional rant right now. You understand? That dialogue and that justification and trying to find some kind of fucking excuse is why pedophilia exists inside our communities. And this is why, listen, man, we love black women. We love Hispanic women, but it's why you can't protect the fucking household, because that shit don't go down when there's a real man in the household. You see, Officer Dawada is a real man. He's a father to the fatherless. That's why he protected that child that his father was fucking molesting.
Hey,
you get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You called her a queen. I just want
straight up and down, man.
Listen, let me let you know something. Hold on. Let me let you know something. I'm in the house of the Hebrews. The Hebrews don't play. She's still a queen with me, but I want to let y'all queens know.
Yeah,
the house of the Hebrews, they not gonna be. I'm gonna try to, reason with you. They gonna.
I'm gonna try to get you a shot.
Yeah, but they gonna chop it. You know what I'm saying? But let me.
This is Crossing Line Radio.